so happy to see you. You're one of my oldest friends, and I am going to chat with you about your role of being the sales and marketing director at Ritz-Carlton, Half Moon Bay, and now San Francisco. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So I want to know what it was like in 2020 for you. I mean, like, obviously it affected the hospitality industry. It was so impactful, but like, what happened in hotels? Tell us about that.
I think what the biggest change was is that obviously the levels of business changed dramatically. Half Moon Bay is quite stunning, and obviously it was very much desired as a location for events and meetings. But unfortunately, with COVID and restrictions, that all changed. So really, 2020 was all about being creative, doing what we could with what we were able to do legally, as well as making sure that, first and foremost, that we're protecting our ladies and gentlemen, as well as the ladies and gentlemen who work with the hotel. So that's most important to us, is to keep everybody happy and healthy.
Can I just say that I love that you refer to your entire team as ladies and gentlemen and your guests as such as well. When I did an event there on your property, that just delighted me. Half Moon Bay has this advantage of the stunning outdoor space. Were you able to at least do some outdoor events last year?
Oh, definitely. At a certain point in the year, the restrictions allowed us to do a lot of things outdoors, which was great. So one of the most creative uses of our space, as you may remember, there are a lot of fire pits around the resort. And so basically our motto was fire pits are the new conference tables. So, why not take your meeting, whether it be small or even slightly larger, outdoors and surround yourselves around a nice fire pit overlooking the ocean. What a great place to interact and be socially distanced and also have the fresh air. So that became quite popular. And then, of course, we have a couple of event lawns as well. So that didn't hurt.
I can completely imagine like major deals being made over the fire pits and s'mores, which like you guys always brought out the s'mores, right? To the fire pits. It's such a lovely touch. So now you're at the San Francisco property, which is this iconic property on top of Nob Hill. Tell me what you're anticipating for sales in 2021. What is that looking like over there?
Well, right now the property is still closed. It closed last year in April, so we're looking forward to reopening sometime in April of this year. We do have some business on the books after that date. So what will remain is whether or not we can actually conduct those events based on restrictions. We have a number of customers that are confident that they want to hold their events. Should they be able to. So that's good news. We, of course, do have some other customers that are seeing things on the books and not really seeing things turning around to the pace that they would like to see. So they're looking at alternatives of moving this year's event out into 22 and or canceling. So we're dealing with those as they come along.
I imagine that you have a lot of legacy clients. Is that accurate, that you have a lot of people that come back to your properties year after year?
Absolutely. I think it's more about the brand and the service than it is necessarily the property, because we see this across all of our properties that are in the Ritz-Carlton brand. The service is, something that we hang our hat on. It's in our DNA. So we like to see that our customers are putting their events on the books 2 and 3 years out, especially for properties that aren't convention properties. To see future bookings like that is rather unique and wonderful. So we have some great business on the books.
I know a lot of properties are, turning into like broadcast studios and accommodating virtual and even like hybrid event demands. So do you foresee that coming up for this year, 2021 and beyond? And do you have your AV team like changing their offerings in anticipation for this?
Yes, absolutely. Our AV partner, Half Moon Bay and San Francisco have the same AV partner. So all along, they really did, create some great offerings to be able to do things like broadcast from meeting space to meeting space so that groups could split apart. And of course, the broader broadcast to invite people virtually into the meeting, so it's more of a hybrid affair. So that's been working out really well. We actually conducted back at Half Moon Bay, we had a little customer confidence networking event where we did invite about 15 or so customers to come in, and our AV partner did all of those little bells and whistles, had the broadcast between room to room, the remote broadcast, inviting in guest speakers remotely. So that was really nice to showcase what they could do and to give people confidence distance, that they could hold socially distanced events that had that hybrid component to get to the broader audience.
That's amazing. So wait, tell me for a second, is that broadcasting from room to room? So that's so guests don't have to move in between different rooms, and so they're just with one smaller group throughout the duration of their conference?
Exactly. So you could have a speaker with some content in one space with, let's say you could only accommodate about 10 people socially distanced in that space, but then you could have another room where you could accommodate another 20. So you had 30 attendees. Well, you're able to accommodate all 30 in two separate spaces with a simulcast of what's going on with the speaker.
Very cool. I love that solution. So I have one more question for you. When I did the artificial intelligence conference with you at the Half Moon Bay property back in 2017, I was completely gobsmacked at the level of attentiveness and the caliber of service and just like the sheer thoughtfulness that really went above and beyond of being taken care of. I was like, yes, I will always do events at the Ritz-Carlton. Done deal. So I just want to hear like an anecdote from you of like, give me an instance of what your team did in 2020 and to elevate that service. Like give me an anecdote.
One of the tenets of our level of service is about anticipating our guests' needs. Without, whether they have an expressed wish or question, we anticipate what they want and we deliver on it before them even asking. So we did have a couple of corporate events over the summer last year that we were able to accommodate, and these guests didn't necessarily ask too many questions about COVID safety and social distancing. So our team took it upon themselves to provide them with some solutions to handling, whether it be hand sanitizer, whether it be, gloves, whatever people needed to get throughout the day. And they created a little care package for each attendee. And then also we help them help identify their own level of comfort. So we provided wristbands for the attendees to wear, red, yellow, or green. And that level had a little sign basically to signify red meant you're really COVID risk averse. You want to stay as far away from people, don't even talk to me. Or green, on the other hand, meaning, oh yeah, if I didn't have to wear a mask, I wouldn't. So we were able to let our ladies and gentlemen that were serving the guests understand each guest's need, and they could accommodate them and approach them in an appropriate manner. And I think both of those groups that we did that for were just blown away by that idea and have used it in other events that they were doing in the future as well.
Joel, it has been such a pleasure to chat with you and just catch up. And, I'm personally dying to do another event with you. And I cannot wait to partner with you at the San Francisco property, maybe 2022.
Looking forward to that day. We'll be there for you, Marianne.